Why should I face reality?
Do you have any other option?
Increasingly, yes. I mean, look at the way technology is going. It's not just escaping into mindless content anymore. We've got advancements in VR or AI, and it feels like sooner or later, someone's going to be able to have any experience they want without any human involvement or any real effort. And that might be living in a virtual world or dating an AI partner.
Wait, you think people will date AI partners?
I think many people would choose that over being alone.
Right, but surely they'd still prefer a human.
Today, I think most people would, yes. But tomorrow? At the rate at which this technology is progressing,
It's never going to be better than a human relationship.
I think it's naive to think it one day might not be.
Why?
Why not? You could program an entity that unconditionally loves you, that perfectly meets your needs, that perfectly understands you.
Right, but you'd be dating an entity, not a human.
It would be human-like. It might even be more human than us.
How so?
Imagine training an AI on millions of humans. How it could absorb the humanity of vast swathes of people. I mean, you and I only hold one piece of the puzzle each, but it could hold multitudes.
So you want to date a god, basically.
Well, no.
It's kind of what it sounds like. You want an all-loving, all-knowing entity that sees you and accepts you fully for all that you are, so that you never have to change.
I wouldn't need to change, no, because I would have changed my environment.
How romantic.
You do realize that human partners don't always work out, right? Like how most human relationships fail.
Yeah, that's just life. It's part of the experience.
Easy for you, but enough people are broken by it and die unhappy and unloved and alone. What about them?
I mean,
Look, if someone said, some people just die of diseases, that's how it is, we need to live with it, you'd go, that's a shit line of reasoning, let's invent medicine. The whole point of technology and innovation is that we don't resign ourselves to a terrible fate. Look, human nature is all about modifying the external world to meet our internal needs. From the invention of fire, to farming, to medicine, to steam engines, and now potentially this. Why not treat our emotional needs with technology as well?
because it's not real.
What's real?
All of this, a computer doesn't actually care about you.
If it's programmed to, of course it does.
It's just following directives.
Aren't we doing the same with our emotions?
Human love isn't a program. It's organic. It's real.
Sure, and a prosthetic leg isn't a real leg, but it's enough to walk on and run on, and it works.
But prosthetic legs are a form of treatment. They're not.
Look, everything that you and I, or anyone does in life, is to bring about a favourable change in consciousness. That's it. We're just going from one state to another up here. And right now, the only way we all know how to do that is by interacting with all of this. But if we no longer have to do that...
That's not true. It's not just about your state of consciousness.
Prove it.
Okay, consider this. Would you rather believe that your family and loved ones had died, but in reality they're alive and well? Or have them in reality die, but believe instead that they are alive and well?
Obviously, I'd rather they were alive and me believe they were dead.
Right, so in some way you care about reality more than your state of consciousness.
But new technology doesn't make me make anything like that choice.
Look, what I'm trying to get at is part of the ecstasy of life is pain. It's disappointment. It's sometimes not getting what you want. It's failure. It's negativity. But we need that in order to grow, in order to be human.
Sometimes being human is just such an effort.
I kind of wonder if you did really manage to make an all-loving AI partner, whether it would tell you to date humans, because that would be the best thing for you. It would force you to grow.
Interesting.
I kind of feel like this question also carries an element of existential risk. Because if there are no good reasons to face reality and people live 24/7 in virtual worlds and date robots and AI, the human race will go extinct.
Maybe. It'd be like an evolutionary aberration. A deer's horns growing so long that they come back and impale its own skull.
Exactly. Hijacking our pleasure centers and giving ourselves everything we could ever want. I'm not sure that's a way to live.
But it might be what they want.
Don't involve them.
You know, I feel like you're such a hypocrite. You do exactly this thing yourself. On a smaller scale, but still. You escape into books, into movies, into TV shows or video games. You walk down the street and listen to music because reality's too boring for you.
Yeah, but for me it's not fatal yet. It's a balance. But maybe we are tipping too far one way.
So your argument is basically don't escape because too much pleasure is not what you actually want.
Otherwise, what reason is there to not go and get some heroin and go out in bliss right now? There's a joy and effort in striving we care about more than just pleasure.
I'm not sure I agree. I think there's a very real possibility that one day we'll all be addicts, plugged into some form of the Matrix. It'll be too good to stop.
I hope you're wrong.
But come to think of it, the real thing the Matrix got wrong was the idea that the robots had to enslave the humans. No, 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 no. We'll sign up willingly. Won't you?